we have this expectation that it's going to be a straight line from where we are to where we want to be. And the reality is it's not.
I remember the time I was like, Jen, I don't know what else to do. I was lost. I felt like I had done all of the things. And it honestly just took a mental reset to stop messing with it. Leave things the way they are. Go outside, get some fresh air, reevaluate after you've given yourself a break. And that's what it took to just not worry about everything.
Welcome to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your host, Jenn Trepeck, talking wellness and weight loss for real life. We're here to clear up the myths, misinformation, bad science, and marketing to teach you how to eat and how to cheat. Are you ready? I'm having salad with a side of fries. Hey friend, welcome back to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your health coach and host, Jenn Trepeck, always here with you every week for Wellness Without the Weirdness. Joining me today is Cyndi. Cyndi, welcome back.
Thanks for having me back. I'm very excited.
Yeah, and this one is a different type of episode than the ones you've joined me for in the past. So Cyndi is here for one of our episodes about someone's personal story and experience of the difference between coaching and community and doing it on your own. Cyndi, what do you think?
I love that. I love it.
Perfect.
I'm excited to share.
Good, me too. So before we get into it, we have to tell our members what they're getting this week. And welcome membership, the Happy Healthy Hub, gets you a recipe each week delivered to your inbox, curated articles and discounts, expert interview episodes in full video, including some behind the scenes content, a community with the ability to post and comment on people's posts, and 24/7 to AMA, which stands for Ask Me Anything. That's how we target your specific questions or challenges. You can upvote other people's questions, see past questions and answers, so many good things. All of this, the Happy Healthy Hub, is yours for just $12 a month. Or if you pay the whole year at once, you get it all for $120, which is like a 17% discount. So this week, your recipe is for bourbon mustard steak kebabs. I saw your face. That was a ooh
That
face.
sounds amazing.
Yeah, so it's perfectly timed for your Labor Day barbecue or Labor Day weekend. I have to tell you, I think many of us are probably sick of chicken and salmon, as I hear from people all the time. So I always say red meat isn't the enemy. It's the quality of the meat that makes the difference. But I digress. You're going to love this recipe as we keep grill season going. So if you want this recipe, plus expert interviews in full video, access to our community chat and the 24/7 Ask Me Anything, go to asaladwithasideofFries.com/membership. Or there's a link in the episode notes because that's easier. Once you're there, you click subscribe now, follow the prompts to enter your payment info, email, creating your login for the hub. Remember, you're going to asaladwithasideofFries.com/membership. It's truly the next best thing to working with me as your health coach. And more than that, it also supports this podcast and this community so we can continue to bring you new episodes and experts every week. Remember, this week, your recipe is for the bourbon mustard steak kebabs, and you get all the perks of the Happy Healthy Hub for just $12 a month. All right, Cyndi. So let's back up for a second because we're connected through the podcast. You became a podcast listener.
After my very first podcast.
Yes. Then you became a member, right, after the first podcast. And then earlier this year, you decided to jump into the Healthy Vibe Tribe. But take us back for a minute, even to when you found Salad with a Side of Fries. What was going on for you? Let's just sort of set the stage for everybody.
I found you by accident through another podcast. You were a guest on somebody else's podcast that I had listened to. I thought, she is so cool. I'm going to listen to her. And it just happened to be in February. And you were doing your heart episode about you have to have heart. And I was just so impressed with your knowledge and everything that you had that I was like, okay, I did. I signed up from that podcast. I clicked the link and went right in. I've been
to become a member. Yeah.
Yes. Like I listened once and I was hooked because I was going through some cardiac issues. I was gaining weight very quickly and didn't know. I was just reaching out for any help, any advice. And you were it. I looked forward to your podcast. And every podcast, I would find something that I liked or I could use. And I just slowly started picking one thing from a podcast that, oh, I could do this. This would make my life better. Oh, I didn't know this. So they were informative and they did help me to start making some little changes on my own.
Yeah. And so, okay, so I want to say that was maybe 2021.
It was right after my daughter got married.
Yes.
So I was in full blown, oh my gosh, I have to pick a dress. I didn't want to look huge. And actually, the dress fit beautifully, and I had to have it tailored because it was too big because I had really focused on improving my lifestyle.
Yeah, I remember that because as a member, you always participated in the quarterly live Q&A, whether it's a one-on-one or a group, you were always there. And so it's interesting because the story you're sharing of what you were able to do with taking nuggets from each episode of the podcast and then helping hone the individual challenges through the membership and the additional access.
Yes.
Then fast forward. So your daughter got married end of 2021, but the Healthy Vibe Tribe didn't happen till early 2025.
Yes.
So walk us through what those couple years were like, because you've been a loyal listener ever since.
I have been. The joke when we go on trips is my husband will be like, don't listen to Jen, we'll listen to her on the way. So I've even gotten
Love it.
him.
I'm honored.
So many of those things that, it is for years that I've listened and that I've applied things. I do look forward to that weekly recipe. Some things I know, oh, that's not going to go over well with my family, but I can tweak them now. And I always just say, Jen shared this. We're going to try it. So we try it. Any new recipe came from you. It doesn't matter where it came from because you had that honor in our house that you're giving us quality. You're giving us good food. And it's a Jen recipe.
I'm honored.
So I do pick something from each episode. That was my goal, to find something from every episode that I could use. Maybe it was taking my vitamins, not using my air fryer, those kind of things. That is there something that I can do that's not going to be earth-shattering, but would be small enough that I could do, implement, and it could be lifestyle, it could be habit. That's just what we do. And I would pick, we have a bedtime schedule. We pick that up from the sleep podcast. Set a time. Make sure things are ready that when you go to bed, you're rested, you're ready, your mind is ready to sleep. So those small things that we weren't changing the world overnight, but we were changing ourselves overnight.
Yeah, I love that. The other thing that I think is worth sharing between your daughter's wedding and then the Healthy Vibe Tribe, so 2021 to 2025, it was also a roller coaster. There were times when we would have your member one-on-one, and it was, I'm holding on by my fingertips. And other times it was, here are all of the things that are happening right now. You know, so I wanted to make a point of sharing that because I think we have this expectation that it's going to be a straight line from where we are to where we want to be. And the reality is it's not. Yeah.
I remember the time, I was like, Jen, I don't know what else to do. I was lost. I felt like I had done all of the things. And why is this so difficult for me? And it honestly just took a mental reset to stop messing with it. Leave things the way they are. Go outside, get some fresh air, reevaluate after you've given yourself a break. And that's what it took to just not worry about everything. I think sometimes I would get so bogged down with, it's got to be this, it's got to be that, I've got to be improving, I got to see results. And I was being very hard on myself when I wasn't seeing the results that I expected or that I thought, should be happening.
Mm-hmm. And
And
other times we feel like we're doing a lot more than we really are when we sort of do a little bit of an audit. And we step back
yes,
and go, oh, okay, now all of these results make total sense.
yes, that was always a big thing for me. I think I always had my own idea of perfect and what it was going to be. And this is how great it's going to be. And very much so that it's either black or it's white. And it's difficult to live in that gray.
Yes, it's a learning to live in the gray for sure.
Yes, it's learning to live in that gray. And I think once I realized it's okay to live in the gray, things don't have to be perfect.
Yeah. So when do you feel like, or what's an example or a story of when you kind of realized that that gray area is where you were?
About a year and a half ago, we were having a party at our house, and people were so excited about all of the healthy options they had. And I was just blown away by how excited everybody else was that, oh, we don't have chips out for this party, but we've got a veggie tray and we've got several new dips. And, oh, what's the recipe for this? And they were like, what do you mean that's cottage cheese? People were like, oh, well, this is our family. This is what we do now. That people were coming to my house and seeing that the changes that we were making were affecting everybody, and everybody was excited about it. That's what they wanted to see. When I was able to not bake 70 dozen cookies and everybody was happy with like 4 dozen cookies and nothing was thrown away, people had what they wanted, took what they wanted, and we were good. So making those changes for myself just kind of spilled over into the rest of my family. And I think that's where it changed and was like, okay, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can have some of the cookies. We can have a good time, with the veggie trays and the healthy options that are there.
Yeah.
So
take us now. So that was about a year and a half ago. Take us now to end of 2024, beginning of 2025. We started talking about the Healthy Vibe Tribe.
Yes. And I'm always excited when you offer something. I'm like, ooh, this could be interesting. And I think in January, we all just kind of feel that weight of the holidays, maybe eating one more cookie than we should have, indulging in a glass of wine, maybe 2, and that it all just kind of culminates at the end of the holiday season. And I was kind of feeling that, okay, you got to do something. You can't hibernate till the spring kind of thing. So when that option came up, I was like, I'm going to try this. It can't hurt. I'm going to try it and see how it goes.
Yeah. And so I love the idea of it can't hurt. I'm going to try this and see where it goes, because it's going in with a lot of curiosity rather than a lot of expectation.
Yes. Because there were different things being offered. How was I going to handle being part of a crowd, being part of a group? I feel that sometimes people are reluctant to try being in a group because, oh, what if I say the wrong thing? What if I'm not as good as everybody? And I will say that's been my favorite part of the Vibe Tribe, that there is none of that. Oh, look at her. Look what he's doing. Look what there's none of that. Everybody is so helpful and so supportive. And I think we need that for our journey sometimes.
1,000%. So let's see. So we did the Healthy Vibe Tribe. So it's a set of 12 weeks. Let's back up for a hot second to fill people in. So the Healthy Vibe Tribe was a Zoom 12-week coaching and accountability group, myself and a bunch of other coaches. So each week there was another coach leading the call and the topic of conversation. So you did the first 12 weeks and the second 12 weeks.
I did.
I guess my question is, how did the first 12 weeks go? And what made you want to do the second 12 weeks?
The first 12 weeks did not go well. They did not. I had every intention of being ready to go, and I was going to be in it wholeheartedly. And then I got the flu. And then I was sick for 2 weeks. But I kept saying to myself, you're going to show up, at least go to the Zoom. You'll get something out of it. even if I'm not able to follow the plan fully because I'm not feeling well, I'm not 100%. You can still go to the Zoom. You can still learn. You can still go and support other people. And so I did the first 12 weeks and I did not get the results that I wanted because I think we all think we're going to start these great programs and we're going to do great and I'm going to lose all the weight I want and I'm going to hit my goal weight and ta-da! That did not happen.
Right.
That
A
did not
reality
happen.
check.
Yeah,
Things
bring 'em back
rarely
a little.
go as we want them or expect them to go.
Exactly. I did have results and I was like, well, that was okay. And I was really very down on myself about not having the results that I had. I was really upset with myself. And in our one-on-one, you're like, but you had results. Think about, movement's a little bit harder in the Midwest because you've got to get on a treadmill or go to the gym. And I wasn't getting my outside time like I wanted. So I think some of those results weren't what, again, that perfectionist in us wants.
And so because of that, I will say, right, you almost did not participate in the next 12 weeks, the second 12 weeks, and yet you did. So
I did.
What did you say to yourself at that time to decide to do the second 12 weeks?
Well, I was honest with myself first because I was like, you didn't really do the first 12 weeks. I probably got maybe 8 good weeks out of the program, because of the not feeling well and just not adhering to it so well because I wasn't feeling well. So I just told myself, you're worth at least 12 weeks. Try it and see how it goes.
I love that.
And
you're worth at least 12 weeks.
Yes. I was worth giving it 12 more weeks, right? And I think we were in week 3 of that second 12 weeks. So 15 weeks in, that's when I started seeing the results. So the 12 weeks that I had done prior was kind of setting the stage, lackluster as it was on my behalf. But it was setting the stage that when I was feeling ready and I was feeling better, I could get out there and do what I needed to do. And I did see great results.
Yeah. So fast forward to the end of those second 12 weeks. It was early summer.
Yes.
You had more of those parties at your house like you had a couple years ago.
Yes.
Share with us more of your results and what happened at the parties this summer.
Well, the results were crazy because people kept looking at me like, what are you doing? Even teachers at school are like, Cyndi, you're looking so good. What are you doing? I'm like, just living my best life. My students were following me on the playground. I was getting my steps in, walking with them, doing those things and appreciating along that way, Jen, the small steps. I think I shared in one of the Zooms that I was able to bend down and tie shoes. And I got up and nobody helped me up. And I was so surprised. I was like, that's a win. The scale may not say I'm winning, but I could get down on the ground, tie that little shoe and get back up without somebody coming to help me or needing a minute kind of thing. So those small things during the program, during those 12 weeks, really did help. And speaking with the other people in the group, finding their small results. Hey, that's a win. And sometimes we don't appreciate the wins. Fast forward to summer and people are coming to my house with, hey, can I bring a watermelon? We have a fruit platter. Is that okay? All of the food was healthy. Like nobody complained. We didn't overeat. At the end of the night, we were able just to put things away because no one overate. Did we have cookies? We did. But you know what's really funny? Most of them were still left over because we went through a whole watermelon. We ate an entire fruit platter. There were no vegetables left. It was amazing.
Yeah, you mentioned to me that you had first of all, the kids were asking for the watermelon. And then you had the party packs of potato chips.
Yes.
And no one touched them.
No. We just had like the small little one. In fact, they still have them. They're going to school with me on Monday. And I will just put them in the lounge and somebody will eat them. But it won't happen here.
Yeah. And you had even more activities happening at this party.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Well, we used to just kind of sit around and, chit chat, drink our drinks, more people in the pool, like adults in the pool. More so they're like, I think we've made it okay, just as you are, to get in the pool and enjoy it. So people were in the pool. We were playing badminton. We haven't done that. We were playing beanbags. Like everybody was moving. There was no one sitting on the deck in the shade complaining that it was too hot or, somebody would play, they'd get back in the pool, cool off. And I think we've just made it more of that environment that this is what we're going to do here now.
I love it. And with the badminton, and you had a glow stick dance party and a twirl-a-thon with the kids.
Yes.
Your not just the activity, but your level of activity and level of participation with the people in your life is tremendous. And such progress and such a testimonial, or I don't know what the right word is, a testament to the effort you've put in and the impact and quality of life when we make these choices.
Yes. And those things, I don't think I appreciated as much as I do now that, oh, look at, I'm not out of breath. I'm moving more and doing those things. Like even I noticed, yard work isn't as difficult because it's what we're doing now. We're moving, we're doing those things. And that makes a huge difference.
And you and your daughter had an interaction about your pants that I think is very relatable if you are willing to share.
Oh, because only daughters can talk to moms that way. She was like, what is going on with these pants? I'm like, what's wrong with these pants? She's like, first of all, they look horrible. Mom, you can put another person in them. I'm like, I'm sorry. She's like, get rid of them. You look frumpy. I was like, okay, thank you. But she's also the same girl who hugged me and said, you're melting away and I love it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, because when you did those measurements, it was 8 inches from your waist.
Yes, that was huge. And I did share that bras were a big deal for me during this 12-week transition, the 24 weeks. I was like, what is going on? And I did do a shopping spree at the beginning of summer because things that I had, I was like, well, I can't wear that out in public because things were starting to get big and not look so nice. I was like, oh, I don't want to be that person,
Yeah.
So I did
and you pulled out a swimsuit from years ago.
Yes, that I wore. I was so excited because I loved this swimsuit. And I'm one of those people, I'm like, I think a lot of people do that. I'm not going to throw it away. I love it. I'll get back into it one day. And I did. I pulled it out and I was like, I'm getting in this. And I did. I was so excited and made getting in the pool so much happier.
Yes. And then you went on this shopping spree.
Yes. And buying clothes that I thought, oh, this is what I've always bought. This is the size that I've always bought. And the nice little lady was like, can I bring it to you smaller? You might like it smaller. I'm like, I don't think smaller is going to help here. And she's like, let's just try. Throughout the course of the 24 weeks, I went down 3 pant sizes and 2 shirt sizes and 8 inches in my waist, but it was slow. It was gradual.
Yeah. And you sent me an email that said the scale is fickle, but the measuring tape is far more gracious. And that was a fabulous way to put it. And it's part of why we always talk about anytime we take one measurement, we want to take all of the measurements and never look at one measurement in isolation.
Exactly. Because my scale, it is not my friend. It never has. But instead of getting down on myself during this whole time, I kept telling myself my activity is higher. I'm building more muscle. I'm losing fat. It may not show up on the scale, but my measuring tape was not wrong.
Exactly. So I want to talk more about what we did, what you learned, and all of the fabulous things that created those results. So let's do that after we highlight our partner for this episode. Oh, and it's us. We are our own partner for this week's episode. All right, friends, you're here. You're listening to Salad with a Side of Fries. So I'll say you're a fan of Salad with a Side of Fries podcast. And merch is another way you can support everything we do for you. What's more, Perhaps it's the perfect reminder, not just to yourself of your commitment to your health, but a tool to help you keep going, to execute those daily habits that we're talking about all the time. From workout tanks and a workout mat, a gym bag, a glass cutting board and bento box, magnets for your fridge that say protein and fiber, so many more options. You owe it to yourself to check out the complete store. There's also some great giftable items in there if you're looking for fun gifts for people. Remember, your purchase supports the show and all we do for you. Just head over to asaladwithasideofries.com and browse the full selection, or simply text the word fries, FRIES, to 833-801-0500. You'll receive the link right to your phone. Check out the full Salad with a Side of Fries merch store. Your purchase supports all the work we do here, shows your podcast pride, and maybe it sparks a conversation for you to pay it forward and inspire someone else to change their health too. Again, text the word fries, FRIES, to 833-801-0500. This is a toll-free number. Standard text and data rates may apply. Okay, Cyndi, before we started recording, you picked up a binder that you called your Bible.
Yes.
And so tell us what's in this binder.
This is the binder from your program.
Okay.
It's the 12-week program that...
You created this for yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's got recipes in it. It's got ideas. So all of those things, please go to Jenn's site and you can get them yourself.
Right. Yes. And I'm assuming you took notes with each call.
Yes. I took notes for every call, every Zoom we did, an inspirational quote. Maybe somebody had done something or had encouraged, someone else, those kind of things I kept in my binder. It's also where I kept all of my measurements during this time.
Awesome.
And I flagged different things that, go back and look at these labels differently. Look at things that sometimes you need that reminder to go back and look.
Yeah. You're such a teacher. I love it. It's awesome. So with everything in your binder there, what were some of the things? And you've talked about more movement. You've talked about different choices. You've talked about a lot of things, but let's get sort of specific. What were some of the things that you thought you knew or that you were doing that you then adjusted?
Well, I think that my biggest adjustment started, there was a quote that said, "Your life can be an example or a warning." And that stuck with me, like to my core. I remind myself of that. Quite often I say that to myself. That's become my mantra. Are you going to be an example or a warning? So on those days when I really don't feel like taking a walk when it's 85 degrees, 90 degrees, am I going to be an example or a warning? So I've made it a point to make sure that I'm doing that exercise, getting that movement in. If it means that I'm getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning and taking a walk, if it means today I'm walking on the treadmill in the cold basement, that's what it means. Maybe it means today get in the pool a little bit earlier and I walk more laps or I do more exercises. But to be that example that I'm doing those things.
Yeah, everything you're talking about is really habits. You created these habits and these routines. And one of the things you said to me before is you're being much more deliberate with your lunch planning. And now you're not starving at 4 o'clock. Deliberate about what happens in the morning, like you said, or how your walk is going to happen, or some of those kinds of things, which I think is so powerful because, as you said in the very beginning of this, we can sometimes feel like it's going to require a complete 180. And in fact, it's the small things that create the complete 180.
They sure do. Part of the program is to record your food and what you're eating. And me being me, thinking, oh, I'm doing great at that. I'm getting enough protein. I'm doing this. Well, I do like to record my food. And as I was going, I was like, ooh, maybe I was seeing some things that, maybe being stressed at the end of the day. Why am I eating so much at the end of the day? why am I needing a snack? I shouldn't need a snack after a full dinner. I went back and looked. Well, and I think you and I spoke about I wasn't eating enough protein at lunch. So how can I do that? Does that mean a little bit more yogurt? Does that mean I add one more egg to my breakfast? How am I going to get that protein to make sure that I'm doing what's right for me and I'm seeing the success that I need? So those little tweaks of, oh, I do need protein here. Maybe I need a little bit more fiber and I need a few more vegetables. Maybe that cup of salad isn't enough for me, but I'm going to have a cup and a half and I'm going to add more turkey to that. So those things I did notice along the program too, that you think you're doing okay, but sometimes it becomes such a habit that you don't realize that your body is changing, that you're changing, your needs around you affect how you're handling these things. So that did help, tracking some of my food.
Yeah, and you started to notice the things that were signs that before we thought were a problem with us. And what I mean by that is we're hungry after dinner, or we have this extra snack, or we feel like we're insatiable and we think something's wrong with us. What you're sharing is that you looked at those and said, if that's what's happening, let me figure out why. And then you were able to tweak something rather than making it some sort of moral failure. It's like we're starting to pay attention to the things our body is telling us.
And it always tells you first. You always know. I say this all the time because even my skin, like it'll look not as nice and I'll be like, oh, why is it so dry? And because you're not drinking enough water, please hydrate better. I need more water, please drink. So those things that sometimes we put off as failures of ourselves, that's your body telling you, excuse me, I would like a little bit more water. I need some more protein. Little fiber helps.
Right. Yeah. And going back to that quote that you said, and I actually think when we did an episode about the Healthy Vibe Tribe, Shannon said it, am I an example or a warning? Is my life an example or a warning? And over the years, Steve, your husband,
Yes,
has been on a roller coaster of whether he's on board or resistant to your efforts.
yes.
To the extent that you're willing, will you share how things have evolved with Steve over these weeks of the Healthy Vibe Tribe?
Not to throw him under the bus or anything, but he is a little stubborn. And I just got to the point where I wasn't going to make 2 meals.
Yeah, when was that? That was a while ago.
That was a while ago. And I was like, you're either on board or you're not. And he didn't want to eat the baked chicken. I was like, then find yourself something else to eat. But this is how we're eating now. And I don't know what gave me the gumption to say that, but I'm not making 2 meals anymore. This is what we're having. And he came along begrudgingly until he started seeing results. And he was losing weight without it even trying. That happens. Men seem to melt it away better than women do. And it was like, well, I don't know what we're doing, it's because we're eating better. So,
right. You're like, I do, Steve. I know what we're doing.
I know what we're doing. And I will say he's even joining me out in the pool now, walking laps and, doing little exercises and doing our water aerobics. And he's doing those things. I think because he knew that's what I was doing. And he was seeing the results in me and he was encouraging me. And I think at one point he was like, well, I should be doing this too. So we do plan it, hey, I'm going to take a walk at this time. Do you want to come with me? Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but he always meets me out in the pool and we'll do some exercises in the pool or we'll walk around in the pool, those kind of things.
I want to highlight something you said, which is that he was even more on board now because he was seeing your results and your shifts and how you were evolving.
Yes.
And sometimes we can want it for other people in our lives so much. And we think that the answer is to say more.
Yes.
And what you're sharing is that perhaps our most powerful impact on the people around us is simply to focus on our own health and take the steps and do the things and let them evolve. And when they're ready, they will jump in. For Steve, quite literally into the pool, right? They will jump in. And then this summer, you and Steve went to the cabin.
Yes.
And that was a very different trip there than you have had in the past.
Yes. Because we were actually both walking. I would take my walks because it's gorgeous to be there and to be in nature. And I do revitalize from that. And he was coming along with me and taking that walk and enjoying that time. Just, just the two of us together, out in nature where it's quiet and just being, I guess, is what was happening.
And you had no junk compared to other times at the cabin. And then you also told me he wanted brownies. You bought the mix and then never even made it.
No, we didn't. Because I think that was one of the, we always do these things. And we had the opportunity for us to change those. We don't always have to do those things. We did a really good job we planned out our meals for the week. We planned a special, this is our day when we are going to eat all of the Wisconsin cheese we want, and we're going to have a pizza, those kind of things. But we didn't overdo everywhere else. So we didn't make the brownies. Were they there? Yeah, we could have made them. But throughout the course of the week, we ended up not making them and not needing them or
kind
wanting
of forgot
them.
They were there.
Yeah. They're still in the cabinet. I brought them home.
Right. Like the chips.
Yes.
And I point this out because how often have we said to ourselves or told people, oh, I just can't have that in the house?
I think, you think you get to that point where it's there and you don't even think about, I have to have it. Like Those chips have been there since July.
Right.
If you have a small bag, you do, but they're still there.
They no longer have that voice that calls your name when they're in the cupboard. They might be there. We forget about them, which I think is a very big difference than many of us have experienced in the past.
Yes, very much so. Like we can have those things without them being that temptation or to overdo those things.
And going back to where you were when you first started listening to Salad with a Side of Fries, the medical system, your heart, your cardiovascular health, where are things now? Because you've been through a few doctors.
I have. And I'm glad you asked because I just had that visit and I thought, she's going to be so excited.
I can't wait. Tell us.
So I have this really wonky heart and I have a rare congenital defect that causes me to just go into AFib. And it's not anything that we knew of till about 14 years ago when I started having severe cardiac issues. And I've had several doctors, you need to lose weight, you needed this, you needed that. I've had several procedures and, your cholesterol's bad, you need more vitamins, you need this. It was a big hill to climb. Fast forward to this past week when I went to see the cardiologist and he looked at my blood work and he was like, why are you here again? And I was
Love that.
I have to be here. I have to come every 6 months. And he was like, oh, that's right. He's like, but everything here says you're great. Okay. Listen to my heart. He did his EKG, looked at everything and said, I guess I'll see you in 6 months. Like he was just blown away that all of those things that were huge issues for me years ago have kind of resolved themselves in these small changes.
Yep.
So
all of your blood work, even when you messaged me maybe a couple weeks ago now, all of your blood work was in your healthy ranges, all your cholesterol numbers, everything. And the balance between your cholesterol was also improved. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So all of those things have shown slow progress. And I think a lot of it is because of the changes that I was willing to make, willing to do for my own health. Again, do I want to be that warning or do I want to be an example? I want to be that good example that you can do those things.
Absolutely. So we're doing the Healthy Vibe Tribe again this fall, 12 weeks, starting September 8th, and it'll end, like right before Thanksgiving, whatever 12 weeks is from September 8th, right? So it's like September, October, November. No pressure. Are you jumping in?
I will be back. Yes, I will be there just to keep that strength going, just to get the support from the other people in the tribe. It's an
And
awesome
the WhatsApp
tribe.
group. Talk about the WhatsApp group for a second.
Oh, I love the WhatsApp. I think sometimes when we do those Zoom calls, not everybody gets on, and you get a nice recording if you don't come on. But there's so much conversation on people sharing recipes, sharing, oh, this is where I'm hiking today. This is where I'm walking. This is what we did. This is our food exchange. Just really great support of one another. And I love that people just are so willing to give that help and offer those things. Hey, this worked for me. Maybe you would like this. So those contacts and those relationships within the WhatsApp group have been wonderful.
Yeah. So what would you tell someone who maybe they're looking to make changes in their lives? Maybe their health is a priority, or they're kind of debating if they're going to make their health a priority, or they're debating about the Healthy Vibe Tribe. What would you say?
I would definitely say try the 12 weeks. You are worth 12 weeks. You have 12 weeks of time. You will learn so much, not just from the coaches, but more so from the people within the tribe. There are great coaches. We had a great cooking
demo. Yeah.
The demo where they were talking about, what do you always have in your kitchen? That was mind-boggling for me. I'm like, oh, I do have all of these things. You can make a meal back quickly. You don't have to order out. You always have those things. There's always a tidbit that you can bring out from the group, from the coaches, from the support. And these 24 weeks have made a huge difference in my life. I can't say that enough. Not just me, but my husband's life. And obviously it's affecting my family too. And they don't even live with me anymore.
Yeah.
They just know when they come. My sister came to visit and she's like, do you have some of that blueberry water? It's just water with blueberries in it. Sure, I have that for you.
I love that. That's awesome. And I think, what I'm really hearing and everything you shared is even beyond the blood work benefits and the 3 sizes of pants and the 2 shirt sizes and all of those things. It's the quality of life, the daily activities, playing with the kids.
Yes.
That really is the meaningful piece.
Just the energy back. Yes.
Yes. Yes. And I think the other piece that I'm taking from everything you've shared is stick with it. Time, consistency, because life is going to life, right? Your first 12 weeks of this year, life happened hard. And example,
we just kept going.
Or warning, and keep going. And community, support, instead of trying to figure it out on your own.
Right. You're always stronger when somebody's there to help you, hold your hand, and build you up. And I think I shared that we were on a Zoom and one of our tribe members was like, and I walked 2 extra miles today. And that just clicked with me. She walked extra miles today. Why aren't you walking extra miles today? You could do an extra mile. And that was just enough incentive for me to say, you can do a little extra. She just shared that. She was glad to share. And I always feel like when people share and give a little bit of themselves, which they do in the tribe, you get so much more out of it. It touches your heart in a different way.
Absolutely. Well, friends, jump into the Healthy Vibe Tribe. We'll put a link in the episode notes for this. You can also send me a message on any social media platform. We'll get you all the details to jump in with Cyndi into the fall Healthy Vibe Tribe. Are you ready to hear about Friday's nutrition nugget?
Yes, please.
Okay, so on Friday in this week's bite-sized bonus episode nutrition nugget, we're talking about Arbonne's Energy Fizz and Green Synergy Elixir. So these were submitted by Caitlin S. on Instagram. So she said people usually drink them together. So we're going to look at them on Friday in this week's bite-sized bonus episode. Be sure wherever you're listening, click the plus sign or the follow button, and then your app will alert you when it goes live on Friday morning. Well, as always, everybody, I'm your host, Jenn Trepeck. Connect with me on Instagram or all social media. I'm at Jenn Trepeck, JENNTREPECK. Website is asaladwithasideofries.com. Consider this your personal invitation to join us in the Healthy Vibe Tribe and send a message. I love hearing from you, your takeaways, your ideas, your questions, whichever platform is easiest for you. That's the best way to learn more. Cyndi, thank you again for joining us and sharing your story.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And of course, if you are not already a member, I invite you to the Happy Healthy Hub. You'll go to asaladwithasideofries.com/membership. This shows your support for this podcast, this community, and most importantly, your health. On top of the 24/7 Ask Me Anything, the community chat, the discounts, and the curated content, you'll get this week's recipe for bourbon mustard steak kebabs. So until next week, remember, there's a difference between going it alone and having a crew with you. The Healthy Vibe Tribe made all the difference for Cyndi, and it can for you too. Well, friends, that's it for today's episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. Congratulations for making yourself and your health a priority. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to click subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform. Share us with a friend, and we'll be back next week. Always remember, you deserve it, and you are worth it. Happy healthy.